Welcome to yet another installment of the Dusty Thunder podcast. We have, for apparently the second time ever, Tony Spark as our special guest here.
I feel like it's felt like more than that because we've done so much Thunder and Sparks since then. But
three, three. But two that are usable.
The one we don't talk about. It wasn't.
Because I ruined it.
The one that the Gremlins got a hold of.
And all the live stuff you've been actively involved into and on camera for. So it feels like we should be like number 9 here, but here we are.
Yeah.
Podcast number 2.
You've had a busy podcast week.
We've had a busy content week, bro.
There's been a lot.
I was supposed to film last night and do more stories to sleep to, which Candy Thunder had a brilliant idea about. We've been trying to figure out the YouTube membership thing, and we finally figured out that she's found some stories that are incredibly long, like too long for normal post content or even podcast content, but she said they would make great extended stories that were a members only kind of thing for YouTube. And I said, perfect, let's do this. Thursday nights every week, I'm either going to come in and cut more stories to sleep to expand that playlist, but what's already out there will be public. All the new stuff moving forward would be members only. So you can reach an expanded library with a membership, and or on those Thursday nights, if she finds posts that are like crazy long, don't work for normal content or podcast posts, we'll have more of those that we create Thursday nights too that would be members only content. So Thursday night period is members only content night moving forward.
I thought you were going to say that with the sleep stories, you've decided to go the OnlyFans route and read them while you're sleeping. No. Like people like are sleeping to it. Yes. Like the.
So here's what we're going to do for that. I'm going to read them while Candy Thunder is asleep. But I'm going to do it right there. And she's going to be sleeping like right behind me.
That's creepy.
Yeah. And then
what do the kids say today? The ick.
That's the ick. That's the ick. Yeah. We would never do anything like that. That's it's way too complicated also. So one thing that I wanted to chat with you about today, just because it's a hot topic for us right now, is that I don't know if you're watching this, if you know this, but all of our content except for podcasts are recorded live, which is a big deal.
True.
That's different for content creators. All of our content is done live. We do live streams Monday nights at 10 p.m. Central. And we do live streams Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Central. And all of the stories that we cover during those live streams become our daily posts.
That is true. Filmed in front of a live studio audience.
We do everything live, which I understand once I hear that said aloud, and Candy Thunder was the one who said it. I'm like, damn, that's ballsy.
Which is definitely like a change, because it used to be you'd come in and cut the stories and then we'd edit them and post them. And now you've started doing it. I think it's because you love the live interaction, like the chat. And you started the multi-stream stuff, which is really cool. So I don't know the technical side of all this stuff. So it was a whole big pain for a long time to get the multi-stream to happen.
It still is.
And sometimes it still is like a touch and go. You have to like massage it the right way to get it to work.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Also, it's still a pain because for whatever reason, TikTok stream key is like the touchiest thing ever. And there's a problem with it communicating with OBS right now. So when I multi-stream now, I'm actually using Streamlabs OBS to stream to everything that's not TikTok. And I'm using TikTok Live Studio just to stream to TikTok, which is silly, but that's what we have to do to be able to multi-stream now. But those are the Monday night ones, which are really just content and just chatting. Wednesday, which is the TikTok only one, is the one that you do a ton of work laying out goals and celebrations for, and those are the ones that just go nuts.
I feel like it's turning into like a wacky Wednesday because y'all, you should have seen the live that we had this week was the biggest live we've ever had. I had a goal when we started working on the gifts and the incentives and like coming up with ways to shake up the live and not just, read the stories, have a chat, do all that. I was like, I want to get to 1 million likes. I was like, how do we get to 1 million likes? And so we started out with like 100,000 and it's like, okay, we got there, and then 200,000. Okay, we can get there. Then I think it was probably around 200,000, maybe 3. When we got to the goal of like 3 or 4 is when you added that little bar to the top. And I think that's what makes the difference. But then this last live that we had, the goal was 800, I think.
Yes, we started with 800,
And we were not even halfway through the live and we were over close to half, probably close to 50% there. And it was like, oh man, we're going to hit 800,000. And then it's like, wow, awesome. We did it. And then everybody just kept going. Like you guys were just like, oh yeah, like let's keep going. And then they got to 900,000. And then Candy and I are sitting there going, I think we're going to hit 1 million. And then we didn't only just hit 1 million, we hit 1 million, and then we hit 1.1, and then we hit 1.2, and then we hit 1.3. And it was crazy. I think we ended up at 1.3. And then we were ranked number 16 in the US in the Rising Stars category on TikTok Lives, which is crazy. I don't even know how that happened, but that's 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
We've been ranked. And the week before, we were at number 45. And so we made the jump from 45 to 16. And I looked later that night, and even later that night, so it resets every night. And it was like 2 or 3 hours left to go to the reset. And we were still top 30, I think.
Dang.
Which is crazy.
So the lives have just become increasingly a bigger deal. And, one of the things that we have definitely learned over the past week is that we have different audiences that like different types of content.
Definitely.
And a lot of people who may be seeing these stories now or hearing them on a podcast may really enjoy the live stuff and just not know that it's as big of a thing as it actually is. But all the content that you hear with the normal post, and if you're on Spotify in the compilations, that is all recorded during a live session. So I read the story, I give some feedback, I chat with Chad a little bit additionally about the story, maybe include some new feedback after consulting with Chad. And then on Wednesdays, it's bonkers because, we have all those goals. We have confetti cannons and we have celebrations.
There was so much freaking confetti this week. We shot off 8 confetti cannons. And first off, I'm very surprised that we haven't had the cops called on us by the neighbors thinking that they're gunshots. Because this thing, the first time we shot this confetti cannon, because we had been using these ones from like Party City or something, and they were like spring-loaded. Yeah. And they were good. Like they had a lot of confetti, but it was just like is there. I think you found the one at Target first that we used, and we shot this thing, and all of us thought we had just been shot. It is the loudest thing, and people have started like saying, they're like, oh my God, like they can hear it because it is so loud. And so now the fun thing is to surprise you with it when you don't see it coming, because not only do you have confetti coming at you, but then it's just loud and it's like, what happened?
I can't not react too. I mean, I'm going to start bringing my firing range ear protection in whenever we're doing live streams. It's louder when you're holding it though, because it's closer to your ear, and normally whenever they shoot the confetti off, it's like 5 feet away from me because it's on the other side of my workstation. So, but when I did it, whenever you were standing up there, and I think when Caden or maybe Miles was standing up there, but it is a lot louder when you're
so loud. And then it's always funny too, like if everybody else in the office doesn't see it coming.
Like, what?
Poor Shane. I think I've about killed Shane 3 or 4 times because he was like, Jesus. He's like, oh my God, I just about had a heart attack.
If you don't know what's happening, it is quite startling.
I think the most we've ever shot off was like 5 or 6, and we shot off 8. Because we just kept hitting. I was like, well, we got to 900,000. I better shoot some confetti. Oh, we got to 1 million. We better shoot some confetti.
You know this well. After those live streams, even Monday nights, which, is 10 to midnight ish, there is an adrenaline crash.
Yeah.
Because you're putting on a show, and there's a lot of adrenaline, especially on Wednesdays, that goes into keeping your excitement levels up. It's organic because, chat pushes us there. They get us more excited about things.
Oh, Candy and I were pumped the other day.
We
were so excited.
It's a crazy excitement. And you guys being here on Wednesdays helps a lot too, because you guys engaging in the office on Monday nights, it's literally me alone here in a studio.
I missed one Wednesday. The wheel's all screwed up.
It's broken.
It's all screwed up. We don't know the goal. It was a mess. I leave for 1 week. I leave the kids unattended, and this is what happened.
Your first week back, record-breaking week. Look at that.
That's true.
See?
Obviously, I'm the missing piece.
Obviously.
That live was crazy. I mean, Candy and I are over there just having the live and like, oh my gosh, look, we're number 40. Now we're number 30, 20. Oh, and we couldn't believe it. Like it just kept climbing, and it was like, holy cow.
For all of you watching this that were part of that live and next day didn't have fingerprints anymore because you were tapping the screen so much.
There were several people that said that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, because it's not me, standing in front of the camera, reading the stories and interacting with chat that made that happen. It's you guys interacting with it and pushing it to that level. So thank you so much.
Well, I think
something you guys should be proud of.
It's been a lot of fun. The lives it's been cool to see the evolution of the lives.
Yeah, it's changed a lot, and is going through big change right now. And I think the main reason that I wanted to bring that up is that a lot of the people who will listen to this or watch this only see the pre-recorded stuff. Will only hear the compilations or hear podcasts. While they're driving in the car or whatever. But if you ever wanted to interact with us, the members of this crew, Wednesday lives on TikTok are the time to do it.
Because for the most part, there's usually appearances by just about everybody on the team, and it's I really didn't even think about it until you said that all the content now is recorded live, like it's all live,
all but podcasts,
which is crazy, which is awesome. Live. Because I did get a note. You can edit this part out, but I did get a note last night that I need to stop saying like so much in the video.
From who?
I just heard that I said it like 3 times. I've said it 3 times in a row.
It's a crutch word, and that's okay. It takes time.
From our good friend Mike Quick gave me a note.
Gave me a note. Hey, Mike, you know what?
Which Mama Thunder or Grandma Thunder, I'm working very hard at looking into the camera, and I've been, and I told Mike this last night. I said, look, I've been given some notes, and one of the first ones was the interrupting thing that Candy and I kind of figured out, like when we basically just kind of did some test videos. I figured that out, and I feel like I've gotten better at that. And now I'm working on looking at the camera, and I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, Peggy.
Looking right at you, Peggy.
I'm looking right at you.
So I don't know if she's heard this yet, but the funny part about the feedback, whenever it got conveyed to us. Karen, I got some feedback. Feedback's a trigger word right now. It was Candy Thunder telling us that you had some things that you thought that she and Tony could do better, and then Candy had mentioned my name, and you were like, oh no, Dusty was great.
Dusty's great. Dusty's perfect. Thanks, Mom.
So it's a joke now. It's an ongoing joke.
So we're working on it. So I'm adding the word like to my list of things, and so I'm working on it, Mike. I'm working on it. But I did realize that I said like 3 times in a row.
I have a lot of crutch things too. Like I'll double talk a lot whenever I get stuck, or the thoughts, the mouth is not aligning with the processing time between the thoughts. I'll end up repeating part of a sentence a lot, and I will delete a lot of that whenever we do the edits on things, but it's something I have to consciously work through.
Yeah. I also have I talk with my hands so much that it's so hard to like.
You know who else does this? I get it.
I get very twitchy, and like I keep saying that I need a fidget spinner because I just get twitchy. And when we have calls and we sit back here, like I'm always playing with
when we take a break, we'll grab one of the Storm Cloud like squish stress things and just. But
I'm a very like talk with my hands, and when we've done the live stream, the sub only lives, there's been a couple times I've like pulled the cord on Candy's headphones because I'm just like I'm talking with my hands. I'm like very expressive,
something to play with,
and so I'm like I just don't know what I'm like Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Your lens
this
cap.
is what I always play with when we do client calls or anything. Like I'll just sit here and I'm just playing with the
lens cap.
Yeah,
it's something. Yeah. Okay. So Candy Thunder actually pointed this out, and I think you had noticed it as well. But Caden Thunder doesn't necessarily move his hands, but he holds them like this.
He does. He was like he
holds them out here.
Yeah,
like he's got giant bosoms.
That's almost literally like the Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands.
But he'll hold them here for like 5 minutes while he's talking, and we're like, "What in the world is happening?" He literally doesn't know what to do with his hands, so he just leaves them oddly right out here. And we posted like a best of live moments from that record breaking live,
right?
Just to help promote the live. We posted it. I guess by the time this comes out, it'll be a couple of weeks past.
The middle of the night last night.
But you can see that. You can see some of the clips of him doing that during that thing. It's just stuck out here. There's so much weird stuff that happens. But
it's such an adjustment for people who aren't used to being on camera because and it's a weird concept, like especially the lives. Like you're talking to someone typing. So like you're talking and you're not getting somebody talking back to you. You're reading what is on there, and then they're reacting to what you're saying. And like it's a weird, it's a weird dynamic,
and there are about 100 comments per minute flowing through. So you have to try to,
there's comments and GIFs and emojis and all sorts of stuff. And you're trying to keep up with it, and it's moving and it's distracting while you're trying to read the story. Cause on this screen is the story. This screen is the chat, and you're trying to read the story, but you just at the corner of your eye, you're just seeing, and you're like, you just want to look over at it.
Especially when someone becomes a new subscriber, a new member of the Storm, because that'll be like a yellow highlighted thing that you can definitely see out of the corner of your eye. And whenever I see those, I always do my welcome thing. But if I'm in the middle of the story, I'm like, I need to remember to go back to that once I'm done reading this story. This is painful.
And I know that every now and then people are like, hey, like you didn't see my, God, I keep saying like, and I can hear it now. It's like I've said it and I can hear it every time I say it, even if it's in the right way to say it. I can just hear it. Anyway.
So now Tony Sparks just going to replace the word like with
I say that a lot too,
as
you pointed out in the last Thunder and Spark podcast.
That was a rant on something, and I had to drop like 20 censor bleeps within like the first 3 minutes of Tony Spark talking. It was great.
There was 20 to your one.
Yeah.
I think of it like a filler word, though. Like I don't even know I'm saying it. I don't even know I'm saying it. It just happens. Anyway,
which one are we talking about now? Like or
both of them? I'm all up now.
I'm like all up.
Like I'm all up, Scoob.
Like he's Scoob.
Like Scoob.
Like let's just go get some sandwiches.
Like I'm all up.
Okay, I feel like we've successfully checked that box and talked about lives. And I wanted to bring it up because, Candy Thunder mentioned it last night. She's like, I don't think people realize that all of the content you do is done live. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think I realized that.
I mean, on the Monday night ones, he even has wardrobe changes and all sorts of stuff. That's crazy. Yeah. Speaking of the plan, just a quick note of Candy Thunder prepared our doc today for this. And Dustin and his plan that he loves so much, the talking points for the beginning of this podcast says conversation, and it's a blank page.
It's a blank page.
So it's literally his nightmare.
I had about 2 minutes while filling up my water cup for this to be like, all right, what is the discussion going to be? But then I remembered what she said, and I'm like, there you go. That's something that we do need to talk about, and that you may not have known at least as much about. There's no way you knew that. Not even the people who are at the lives every Wednesday know as much as we just discussed about the lives. It's a great kind of behind the scenes peek at the madness that happens here. But we've got 5 stories to go through.
All right.
We're going to rock through these. And apparently these are pretty damn good ones.
That's what I've heard. I've heard some of them are pretty good. And that's always, Dusty likes to call me a diva every now and then. And, one of my conditions is I need spicy stories and I don't want to know what they are.
Yeah. So. Well, the blind react, I feel like, is a big deal. And you prepare a lot of stories. You handle Wednesday Live solo. When it comes to you being a guest in a podcast, I think we'd both prefer that you be blind reacting as well. So that means it's all on Candy Thunder to prep everything for.
But she's had a busy week of prepping these because she's had 3 filming sessions, especially because she does the Monday nights. So she preps all the stories for the Monday content, which is, the main posts on TikTok. And so she prepped all that. And that Monday, you have like 5, 6, 7 stories usually somewhere in there.
Between 7 and 10.
Yeah. And so they had that. And then the podcast with Josh, she pulled the stories for that on the same day. So he filmed twice that day. And then our podcast today.
And then,
and plus we did the Wednesday.
And then you messed with her and said you were going to make her do the stories for Wednesday too.
Because in typical Candy fashion though, I try really hard to have everything ready for the Wednesday Live by Tuesday. So it's done Wednesday morning. Jesse will review it. Sometimes I'll add some notes.
He likes to plan.
I do because I know because the lives have grown so much of like, it's got a lot. It needs to be kind of planned out to have a plan. So I try to have it done by Tuesday. And I told her I was on vacation and I was like, hey, I will prep the doc. Like if you just put the stories in there, I'll format it. I'll get it all ready. I'll do the gifting and the rewards and all that stuff. She said, no problem. Well, I'm at the lake and it's like, I don't know. It's probably noon, 1 o'clock. And I'm looking at this doc.
On Wednesday?
On Wednesday. The live is at 3 o'clock. And I'm like, I look at, it's like 1 o'clock and I look at the doc and there's 1 cake story in there. And I'm like, and I'm like, I'm just imagining The Office looking like the beaches of Normandy in a battle zone because Dusty does not have a doc in hand. And I mean, it got to the point where it was like 2:30 and and Candy I was getting messages from Candy in all caps. You're never leaving on a Wednesday again. It was so funny. So then I come back this live this week. I was like, I messaged her on Tuesday. I was like, hey, you put together live or did you want me to go ahead and do that? Or are you going to take care of it? She's like, you mean the stories? And it was very much, I
told him, I'm like, dude,
I was like, I'm just messing with you.
After she sent that response and said, what, you like the stories? Until he responded back, she was probably just staring at her phone like, oh God, please no, please
because
no.
At that point, she's already found stories for this podcast, story for Josh's podcast, stories on Monday. She's like storied out because it is a lot. We have to read a lot of stories because we don't know until we see them. And same with follower submissions. Like read a lot of follower submissions, and
you don't know till you know.
You don't know till you know, and it takes a lot of time to read the stories. So she was probably stored out, but it was funny. Anyway, let's read some stories.
We only get to hear the ones that made the cut.
Yeah.
For every one that makes it to a doc, how many would you say that you've read?
Oh,
10?
At least 10. Wow. I bet it's a 10-1.
Dang. So Tony knows all the tea.
Yeah. I know all of it.
All of it. All right, let's dive in on it. All right, this is, am I the astronaut for not giving my girlfriend, 25 female, my dinner after I had already bought her dinner? My girlfriend, 25 female, and I, 29 male, live in New York City, and there's a popular app where you buy leftover restaurant food. Restaurants advertise surprise bags at a reduced price in order to reduce food waste. The customer doesn't know what they're getting until they pick up the food, but the cost is at least 3 times lower than the normal menu price.
Damn.
Ergo, if an entree is usually $24, the restaurant is allowed to charge $8 at most for it. These are a hit or miss. Sometimes you get exactly what you want at a greatly reduced price, but sometimes you get something that you otherwise wouldn't have picked from the menu. I ordered a surprise bag from a barbecue place that I was picking up on the way home yesterday. I texted my girlfriend asking if she wanted one, but she said no, she wasn't in the mood for barbecue. However, there was an Indian restaurant right next door that also had surprise bags available on the app, so she ordered one of them. The barbecue was $12 and the Indian food was $10. And that's the surprise bag place. So this would have been what, like $36 and $30 otherwise?
Damn.
When I got home, I unpacked the meals to see what we got. I got psyched about my bag. Since I paid $12, I knew the value had to be at least $36, but honestly, the platter looked a lot more expensive. This was a hit. Keep in mind that we live in the West Village, which is the most expensive neighborhood in the most expensive city in the US, so $36 for one meal is pretty typical. There were burnt ends, ribs, pulled pork, baked beans, potato salad, bread, onions, and pickles.
That sounds amazing.
It sounds really good right now. We may have to do BBQ for lunch. Oof. My girlfriend, however, was less lucky. Her surprise bag only had 6 different types of soup, half of them being variations on cauliflower soup.
That's unfortunate.
She was disappointed, to say the least. She asked if we could share my barbecue, and I said no, I'm hungry. I offered to buy you some already, and you said no, so I'm going to devour it. She got mad and called me the asshole. I told her if she didn't want soup, she should have ordered something specifically instead of using the surprise bag app. I then told her to just order something different off a food delivery app. She said she didn't want to spend the money. Another bit of context is I make a lot more money than her and pay all of our rent. I know she's running a bit of a lean financial picture right now. I then tell her that if she doesn't want to pay for delivery, I'll walk to the bodega on our street and can buy her something there. Another bit of context is that we live on a 4th floor walk up with no elevator, and she broke her leg in a car accident a month ago, so it can be tough for her to get around. She says that the grill is probably off there, and all she wants is a hot meal. I tell her she has soup. Well, I mean, yeah, she has soup. Anyway, she thinks I'm the asshole, but in my defense, 1, I offered to buy her barbecue to begin with, which she declined. 2, she picked out her own food, and I grabbed it for her on my way home. 3, when she wasn't satisfied, I suggested 2 solutions, either ordering something from an app or going to a bodega. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Top comment here. You're the asshole. Come on, man. You did the surprise bags. Hers didn't work out. You know she can't afford to order something else, but didn't offer to help pay. You offered her crappy bodega food instead. You could have at least split the barbecue and ordered something else to share and split the price. If the situations were reversed and you'd gotten a bunch of crap soup while she had a feast, would you really want to sit there hungry waiting for some crappy alternative while she chowed down? You're going to get lots of NTA that just have no concept of being nice and making small sacrifices for your partner. You and them seem like the types who, if their meal companion gets the wrong meal at a restaurant and has to wait half an hour for the new one, they'll sit there and eat and not even offer a fry. Damn. What are your thoughts, Tony Spark?
Well, first off, this app sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, we don't have that here.
We don't have that here. We're not a big enough city for that. Also, $36 for a meal sounds a little bit crazy.
I get
like
it,
around
though.
here, $36 for a meal around here would be like a good meal.
That's the ultimate feast at Red Lobster, by God, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. I feel for her. But did it say whose idea it was to do the surprise app? Was it his or hers?
Well, I mean, it sounds like he was going to get the surprise app for barbecue, so that's where the conversation probably started.
Gotcha.
Hey, babe, surprise bagging from the barbecue joint. Do you want any?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you know, I feel like he did offer, right? He said, I'm getting barbecue. Do you want barbecue? She didn't want barbecue? Okay, that's fine. I feel like it's really unfortunate to get a meal full of soup, though.
Yeah.
Like if you're getting Indian food, like Indian food, and you're expecting something more than soup, but then I feel like he made the offer to go get her something else. Or now he probably could have been like, I'll order you something else if he knows that he makes more money and she's having a bit of tough
Instead
time.
of just telling her to order
instead
something.
Be like, I'll just order something. Like, what would you like? I'll order you something. That might have been the way to go with it. But yeah, I
have thoughts.
I don't know.
I have thoughts. And I think this is something that I have a marriage perspective on. So as a married couple, this would play out totally differently. And where I think he really brozoed up here is the feast that he described that he received was way more than one person.
That was a lot of food for one person.
I mean, we don't know what the serving sizes were for each of those items, but purely from the number of items that he described, he had a goddamn feast.
Yeah, that was a lot of food.
And if you have a feast, bro, and you know that if you were to force yourself to devour this entire feast, you would probably become physically ill. Making the choice not to share your goddamn food is just you being a dick.
Did he say whether he ate it all? Because the funny part of this would be if he says, no, you can't have it, and then he doesn't eat it all.
And it's like, oh, I'm throwing this away.
That would really be an asshole.
It would be funny. He said he was going to devour it. We don't know if he actually finished it all or not. That would have been funny. But that's where he brozoed for me. When he described this feast that he received, that was way more than enough food for two people, and wasn't willing to share that. As a married couple, this would be an immediate, like, of course we'll share this. Look how much is here. Also, as a married couple, it would be like do you know what? We're going to half and half. We do that a lot. We half and half it. We get two things that both kind of sound good to each other, and we half and half it so we can have two different things. This is a girlfriend and boyfriend, though.
Yeah.
And I know I understand that it's different. However, what I would say to Brozo here is, would you like to have a wife someday? Because if you would, it's kind of important to start behaving in the way that you would behave if she were your wife. That's how you treat someone in a respectful way in a relationship, married or not. That's the teamwork relationship approach that I feel like is the right play here. I feel like he was a brozo. I feel like he was a little bit of a spoiled child in this scenario. Yes, it's her fault. It's obviously her fault. She gambled differently than he gambled. His gamble paid off. Hers didn't. However, as a couple, I feel like if you want to take care of your partner the way that I feel like you should want to take care of your partner, then you had way more than enough to do it. You didn't do it just because of ego, and that sucks. That to me is an ascon 3.
I'd probably agree with that. I mean, he basically was like, that sucks for you, bro. Like, yeah, okay, like it's your girlfriend. Maybe you should be a little bit like, oh, I'm sorry. Like,
it's not like something.
What can I do? What can I do?
Be able to eat discreetly. Either. No. He's got freaking ribs.
Yeah. He's over here like checking rib bones and it lands in a bowl of soup or something. And is like, oh, sorry about that.
He's going to be over there like Fred Flintstone.
Dude, he had burn ends. He had ribs. He had pulled pork. He had all that. He's not eating all of that.
There's no way that it was just a single bite of each either.
No.
I mean.
No, he's not eating all of that.
No, it was a brozo move.
It was. I'd say, I'm going to say... Yeah, I'm going to say ascon 3.
All right, that's where I'm at on here. And what did the girlfriend say? Did she bitch about this, or was she just...
She called him an asshole.
Okay, she called him the asshole. You know what? I agree with her, bro.
And we're kind of an asshole. Kind of an asshole move. Especially, okay, we're not even talking about the fact that she's got a broken leg.
Yeah.
So already I feel like you should be overly probably nice to her because she has a broken leg. You should be wanting to take care of her and wanting to be like, oh, I'm sorry, what can I do? Like,
try to cater to her needs more, for sure.
Oh, it wasn't what you wanted? Sure. Now, we don't know. Also, I love the word bodega, by the way. That's just a random thing because, like, Obviously, we don't have bodegas here either. Do we?
We do. We have one.
What is the definition of a bodega, though? What is the proper, what would be considered a bodega? We have and if we have a bodega, where do we have a bodega at?
I know it's called a bodega. It's like actually right across the alley from us. It is a small grocery store, especially in a Spanish-speaking neighborhood.
Okay.
Carthage has several.
Yeah.
And we have at least one here.
Basically, though, it's kind of the equivalent of a gas station food, though.
Yeah. It's a convenience.
So I can see where she'd be a little upset with that.
It's a small, like a small grocery store, but a convenience store. Yeah.
Yeah. I if I was him, I probably would have been like, yeah, maybe I'll order you something else.
I mean, I've got my barbecue feast here.
Platter. Full ass platter.
But I'll run down and get you some gas station food real quick. We'll see what they got down at the 7-Eleven, eh?
They've got some really good microwave burritos down there. They'd be really good with the soup.
Apparently they have a grill. It was just most likely off at this time. So I think this all comes down to what do you want the structure of your relationship to be like? And if this is how you want it to be, I can foresee you never progressing past anything other than being a boyfriend, and maybe this relationship not lasting all that long, because it's not just the food thing. I think the money thing is touchy for a lot of people, and I know even married couples, a lot of them keep separate finances. You do you, that's cool, but I think the undertone of all of this is not just the food, but it's him not stepping up and offering, knowing that she's lean financially right now, him not stepping up and offering in a lot of ways right now, sends the wrong message to me, at least.
Yeah, I think when you're a couple like that, you got to stop thinking. I think he's still thinking like an I instead of a we. Yeah. And I think at some point you have to make those sacrifices.
Me decisions instead of we decisions.
Yep.
This is something that I thought about a lot. I don't know that I've ever mentioned this on content, but the statement hit me years ago and it stuck with me. And it's do what you want. And it's deeper than it sounds, because the do what you want is what it means to me, at least, is your actions should align with your goals. And for him, his actions, if they are aligning with his goals are to basically be like a friend roommate with this girl and not in a relationship with her. Do what you want. Your actions should speak to the direction that you want to go in life. And if that is to marry this girl, if that is to form a bond where you help and care for each other, the actions need to change. Do what you want, bro.
Also, a 4th floor walk up with a broken leg in the elevator is rough.
I'm trying to imagine like how that hop even works.
That's a lot of crutches. That's rough.
Oh yeah,
that's terrible.
I didn't. Yeah. This is where I'm at today. Crutches never entered the mental picture for me. I literally just saw her hopping up and down the stairs.
Just like hopping up. And like, wow, I bet she's getting to be really good at hopscotch.
Just do a handstand and just walk down the stairs. It'll be fine.
This is like a crawl up with one leg and one leg in there. Yeah. I've done crutches. I broke my leg once and it was awful.
You've had a boot a couple times too.
I did. I've had a boot a couple times. I broke my leg though and went to a concert at Arrowhead and sat in the lower level.
That's dedication.
I sat in the lower level, not as far down, like about halfway down. It's summertime. It's 100 degrees. We tailgated all day. I was on crutches. I had a little scooter that got me in there, but then I had to use crutches to get down the stairs.
That would be a thing.
One time, this was like a 5-hour con. Like it started, there was like a bunch of openers and a bunch of people, and
we should have brought an entourage to carry you down the stairs.
We were down there for a long time, and I went one time to the bathroom because I had to crutch up. Because you know how it is there. You had to crutch up across the concourse. Luckily, the bathroom was right across there. It was still pretty close, but that's a lot of crutches. And 100 degrees. Might have had a few adult beverages at that point, so I wasn't crutching sober.
The rest of the time, you just wet yourself.
I didn't, but I went one time because I got to the top of the stairs and I was like,
I will not be drinking any more beverages.
Oh no, I kept drinking the beverages. I just held it.
I just held
it until the end. Well, it was so hot, you're sweating out most of it anyway. But I was like, so I definitely feel for this girl if she's going up 4 floors, and she's probably doing that at least once a day, twice a day. She's going to work. She's
gotta be.
That sucks. So, bro, order your girlfriend some good food.
You're at least in ascon 3, and I feel like we might be being a little bit easy on you there.
Yeah.
But you're an ascon 3 brozo. It's like
definitely a brozo
an amended classification.
Yeah.
Speaking of Arrowhead, real quick before we move on to our next story here, Smoots, which that is the correct way to pronounce it. Apparently, it's like the Kels thing, where everybody's called him Kelsey for years, and he's eventually like, yeah, it's Kels. He just didn't care enough to correct people. Josh Schmutz, our buddy, his last name is Smoots.
Okay, but he doesn't even say it like
he
that.
He does now. Yeah.
Okay. So does he really, or is he just is he just doing a Kelsey Kels thing now?
No, it's the real deal. So his family referred to it that way, and once he got married, they made the decision that they would stick with the way it's supposed to be. It's Smoots.
Interesting.
We talked about it a little bit on the podcast. Something that did not make the cut for the podcast was something really funny that he said. We were talking about Taylor Swift, about the concert, and he's like, so it's a crazy 3.5 hour show, right? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you're crammed in there with 80,000 other people, right? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, there's tons of emotion. Like it's just completely draining and exhausting, right? And
Very
I'm like,
much
yeah.
so.
And he's like, that's every Chiefs game I've ever been to.
That is true too.
Yeah. It's just the same level of excitement as like an AFC championship game.
And it was. And having been at those games and having been at that concert, it was that emotional. I mean, at the end, you're literally exhausted. Like you don't
have any emotions left. You don't have any energy left. You're just done.
You are done, because it is not like you go to other concerts and you get excited for the songs and you just gotta sweat. Dude, this concert, it was like you're into it and you're screaming the songs and like you're jumping up and down and you're waving and you're going nuts, and it's like it is very emotionally draining.
What it looked like from like the photos and videos that you guys took was that everybody there, all 80,000, whatever, however many people were there, everyone was like all in.
Oh, it was all in.
All in.
Everyone was all in the entire time. I think Candy and I sat down maybe 2 songs, because it was right after certain songs would be played, like after the 10-minute version of All Too Well. And you talk about emotional. That was like you're belting it at the top of your lungs and you just feel the emotion. And afterwards you have to sit down and you're just like,
and then the show's finally over and you make the trek all the way back to the vehicle, and
our feet were dead.
Your crabby chauffeur is sitting out there who's been stuck in the parking lot for 6 hours without a signal. He just wants to go home. Yeah. It was an experience.
But it is very similar to Chiefs games, because I've been to Chiefs games where it is an emotional roller coaster, and I have no voice, and you're exhausted, and you're more than likely drunk, and it's also very emotional.
Every Chiefs game is a butthole clencher. They don't do like easy wins.
I think the biggest emotional one was that Bills game. That was, you talk about an emotional roller coaster. Completely spent afterwards. I barely could jump through the table afterwards. barely, but I made it happen.
That's a trooper.
Speaking of concerts and Taylor.
Yeah. So our next story has to do with concert tickets.
Oh boy.
This one is, am I the astronaut for being upset that my boyfriend is seeing my favorite artist VIP without me? When the tour tickets were released, my boyfriend bought 8 VIP/club tickets to resell. He kept one for himself, sold 2 to his female friends at the original price, and sold the rest to randoms for a profit. He has 1 ticket left that he wants to sell at a markup for $2,500, but is having a hard time selling it. Here's where things get complicated. My boyfriend knows that this is one of my favorite artists. I've always wanted to see her live in concert, but I haven't had the chance. When he bought the tickets, I mentioned the possibility of us going together, but I couldn't afford a VIP ticket. I was okay with purchasing my own ticket if we were in a regular section. He only wanted to go VIP. For more context, when he bought the tickets, we had just planned a trip to Vegas, which set me back around $1,750, hotel, food, flight, and car rental. I also lost my job around that time and am still unable to secure a stable one. I've lived off my savings ever since, so I can't afford to splurge that. He said he could sell the remaining ticket to me at a markup for $2,500, but he is well aware of my financial situation and that I can't afford that right now. Am I the asshole for being upset that he won't just give me the ticket or even try to find a middle ground so I can go to the concert? I'm debating buying regular, more affordable tickets, to her upcoming concert in a different city nearby and going alone without him. My friends all live on the other side of the country since I moved after my job loss, so they can't come with me. Will I be the asshole if I went ahead and did that? For additional context, we've been best friends for 5 years and officially together since February of this year. He makes well over 6 figures annually and doesn't need the extra cash he could make from the ticket. They're Beyonce, Club Renaissance, and on-stage VIP tickets. You thought it was Taylor the whole time, didn't you?
I wondered if it was Taylor. First off, is this the same brozo from the first story?
It might be. This is a very similar theme.
Bro, listen. Your girlfriend, you know this is one of her favorite artists. You bought tickets to this. You then sold the tickets at a ridiculous markup, which is an entirely different conversation that we have had on Thunder and Spark. We've had multiple times.
Not okay with it.
It's disgusting. We are very anti-giant markup on this. You bought them. You sold it to 2 of your female friends. That's probably red flag number 1 for this girl.
Which also means that he bought these tickets together, so they're going to be sitting next to him.
Yep. You sold the rest to random people, and now you just conveniently have one left that instead of going, hey, honey, guess what? You're going to the concert and you're going VIP. No, you're going to be a brozo and be like, sorry, you can't afford it. I'm about to make bank off of this. Like,
and you're going to go without her.
And you're going to go without her to an artist that she loves and wants to see and has told you that.
How?
And you're going to do that. What a dick move.
How does he?
This would be like you getting tickets to a Matt Rife concert, buying extras, selling them to somebody else, having one extra, and not taking Candy Thunder.
Which
divorce?
Yeah,
what are you doing? Not even take up the part that you've been dating, or you've been best friends for how long, and you're going to do this to your best friend?
Even if it wasn't your girlfriend here, if it was your bestie.
You'd rather go to concert and sit next to random people and two other girlfriends of yours than take your actual girlfriend to the concert that she wants to go see. Like, bro, what are you doing
here? So OP is the girlfriend here, or the significant other.
That's true. OP.
Yeah. We didn't. Yeah.
No.
OP. The
boyfriend's the brozo.
The boyfriend is the brozo. However, OP, here's the takeaway. You now know how much your relationship is worth. And it's less than $2,500.
Yep.
Do you really need to know anything else?
I mean, this guy is...
This guy's worse than the last one.
That guy's worse than the last one. And listen, this is a very sensitive subject for me because... Like I was very lucky to get to go to see Taylor Swift. It was not going to happen because I was going to be in the same situation. I was in the same situation as OP. I did not have a ticket. The only tickets available were at ridiculous markups. 2 of my best friends in the world are huge Taylor Swift fans and wanted to go. And you know how it was. Like, it was a gut-wrenching decision. Like, the thought went through my mind of, I don't know if I can go to this concert because I want to go with my best friends and go. And those are just my friends. That's not even somebody I'm dating. And Dusty and Candy were beyond generous, and I got to go to the concert, and it was amazing. And in the end, my friends were happy for me, and it worked out. But like, I can't imagine being in this situation. It would have been like if I would have been in your situation, I would have had the 6 tickets, and I didn't take Lindsay and Sam with me.
Right.
It'd be like, what? Like, no, I'm going to sell them. I know you really want to go, but I'm going to make a bunch of money off of this. So you can buy a ticket for like $2,500 if you want to. Like, that's bullshit.
It's garbage.
You're a terrible human being.
I think we're there. We're at ASCon 1 for you, bro.
OP, you are not the asshole. You should absolutely get a ticket. If you can get a ticket that you can afford, go for it. And you know what? Go with some random person. Hell, you might meet somebody better sitting next to you than this brozo. Meanwhile, boyfriend, you're ASCon 1. You're a terrible human being. I hope that I don't know. I don't even know. I hope that
your tickets end up being fake.
Yeah.
I hope you get turned away at the gate. Hope you show up a day late. There we go.
That'd be funny. I mean, it's such a shitty thing to do.
It is a terrible thing to do. I think because it's become such a rampant problem with ticket price gouging. I think a lot of people nationwide, worldwide, are burning bridges for money. What feels like a lot of money to them. But here, look at this. You guys have been besties for what, 5 years, you said?
Yeah, 5 years.
Together for just a few months, but besties for 5 years.
Maybe you should go back to just being friends after this. And I don't even know if I'd want to be friends with this guy
because your friendship is worth less than $2,500. You know that for a fact. So push comes to shove, it's less than $2,500 for someone who makes enough for that amount to be ridiculous. Number one, attaching a dollar amount to a relationship is garbage in the first place. But but for this guy specifically, and it's kind of like what you said in the last story. Like, what where do you see yourself with this guy? You going to marry this guy? Do what you want.
Do what you want. But are you going to marry this guy who's going to do this? Like, what are you doing? Like, what's this guy doing?
If your goal is to be in a relationship with someone who respects you and is willing to approach this from a team aspect and do the right thing, do the thing that you would do for them. If you want to be with someone who treats you the way that you would treat them, then you shouldn't be with this dick knot.
Dick knot.
So I don't even know what that is. It just came out of my face. But I don't know.
I mean, also props to Candy for finding this story, because this is a very triggering topic for all three of us, I think.
Yeah,
really. We've had a lot of conversations about this, because I went through months of looking at Taylor Swift tickets every single day trying to find them. And it's disgusting what people are doing. I understand you want to make a little money. I understand it's America, capitalism, you do what you want, free market, all that stuff. But at some point, there's got to be morally, at some point, you have to be a decent human being and not do that. Like, if a ticket costs you $400, sell it for $500. You made $100. You covered your parking pass and a couple of beers. Why do you need to make $2,500 a ticket and keep somebody who really wants to go going? That's the problem, because that's all you're doing. That's all you're doing is hurting a fan who really actually cares and wants to be there.
Right.
Because if you're selling him like that, you're not truly a fan of that person.
Right. And it's not the reselling that we have an issue with. It's the gouging.
It's the gouging.
And the only grabbing additional tickets for the sole purpose of gouging. That's the thing we have an issue with. If you bought tickets and people can't go and you have a couple freed up, then you sell them and make a little bit of money. That's totally fine.
This guy literally bought them to resell them to make money.
To like 10x the price.
And if you already make that much money and this isn't a problem for you, why couldn't you have kept 2 and sold 6 for that much money?
Right.
You could have done it because you've got 1 left over. It would have worked out perfect. And now instead you're being a fucking asshole to your girlfriend and not taking her to the show.
Let's just go ahead and call her ex-girlfriend now.
I hope so. I hope so for her sake.
Yeah. It would be
I hope he comes back from the concert. Her shit, I don't know if they live together or not, but if they do, hope her shit is packed and she's
got to be gone.
Bye, Felicia.
She can be on her way out the door singing all my single ladies.
That's right. You sing it, girl.
Or what we now know after the last live, it's all my dringle ladies.
All my dringle.
All my dringle ladies.
No, you know what you should do? Here's what you should do, OP. You should get yourself a ticket. You should go to this show. She plays single ladies. You should be up there doing it, and you should take a video of it, and you should send it to that brozo sitting down in VIP and say, you.
Yeah, and just be pointing at yourself the whole time.
Exactly.
It would be so great if there was some kind of contest that OP could win here and like get backstage access to this concert and just one up him.
It'd be like across the stage from him and just flipping him off, just looking at him like,
If Beyonce could bring you out on stage, that would be the best case scenario.
Well, I mean, it's all these artists, whether it's Beyonce, whether it's Taylor, whether it's Matt Rife, whether it's all these people like
Dusty Thunder.
Yeah. Tickets on sale now. Beyonce would much rather have her at her concert than you at her concert, because that's not the spirit of what being a fan of somebody is about.
Right.
And it is about money. They make a ton of money. We get that. But more often than not, they don't set the ticket prices. The touring company sets the ticket prices.
And also, but when they do, they're not gouging people.
No.
They're making it reasonable.
And it's like, come on, guys. Like, don't be assholes. Don't gouge. Don't keep somebody from seeing somebody that they care about just because you want to make more money. And it's bullshit.
Well, here's the inevitable end for those people. because they're placing monetary values on their relationships, sooner or later they will have no relationships.
Yep.
They may have,
and they deserve it,
a healthy bank account from all the people they've over,
Yep.
but they're going to have no one to share that wealth with, and no one to have fun with, and no one to love. So
Agree.
Good job.
Way to go, brozo.
Ticket gougers. Hey, we're back after a short little break, and look who's here. We've got Candy Thunder. We are going to do the unboxing of our TryTreats box that they sent us. This is actually the second box they sent us, because the first one they sent us, we did in that episode of Thunder and Spark where I ruined it, or the tech gremlins attacked us. So this is take 2 on this. It's actually a different country this time. We have treats from India.
All right.
Ooh.
Which is really cool. We had Korea last time, and there was some really good stuff in there. This is India treats. Let me read this real quick, and then we're actually going to sample a few of these and see what we think. We've never tried any of this stuff before, so this is going to be really interesting. Before I get into that, you can get a TryTreats subscription at trytreats.com/subscribe, and you can actually use the code DustyThunder, all one word, for 15% off of your first box purchased. So super cool there. Thank you so much for sending that to us again. And thank you for sending a second box, because I ruined the first one. The intro card, they always send you some information about the country that the treats are from. This says, this month's treats come to you from India, an enormous country of 1.28 billion people, located in South Asia. Amongst the many things India is famous for, India stands out as a country rich in culture and history. The Taj Mahal, shown on the other side of this postcard, is an example of the sophistication of India's cultural heritage. India is also known for its love of food, which, coupled with its distinct culture, creates flavors you will not experience anywhere else. This is reflected on India's stacks. One example of this is the 50-50 biscuit, which are biscuits that are sweet and salty at the same time.
Ooh.
Another example of this is the piece de badam, a biscuit that combines the unique flavors of 3 different nuts in one cookie. You will also find glucose biscuits, the world's #1 selling biscuit, and more. Sit back, relax, imagine you're at the Taj Mahal, and take a journey to India through these treats. Thank you again so much for that. Greatly appreciate it. We do have, they send you a chart of everything that is included in the box as well. And they have a template here for you to actually provide like feedback on what was the best and what was the worst. And want you to share the results with them on Facebook. So damn cool. Okay, so we have a number of these lined up right here. One of the first ones that we have is, this is called Nice Time by Britannia. And it is delectable coconut cookies sprinkled with sugar crystals, a perfect snack to enjoy with a warm cup of milk or tea. Well, I don't have any warm milk or tea right here, but I hope water will suffice. Okay, Nice Time. Who wants to try?
I'll do it.
Go for it.
Candy Thunder. Tony Spark, you in?
I'm going to let Candy take this one.
Okay.
I'll jump in on this one too.
You lost the coconut?
You might have lost me a coconut, but that's okay.
Coconut cookies.
They're actually delicious. Yes. Super good.
Definitely. I'll be taking the rest of that package.
They're like super.
That's kind of what happened last time when we tried the box. Like some of the stuff was really, really good, and we ate all of it. Like,
Navy Thunder even got.
did she like the? Did she like those
strawberry
puffs? Yeah.
Oh yeah, she likes
These
them a
are
lot.
super light and fluffy and like crunchy, like very, very good.
It's
Perfect with tea or warm milk.
I would recommend them with a cup of tea.
close to the texture of like a graham cracker, but with the coconut flavor is very light. And the sugar crystals on top remind me of those Danish butter cookies that you get in the tins.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Okay, it's like a mix between that and a Belvita bar. I kind of wish that Belvita bars were actually this texture, because I think that they would be so much better.
Really good. Really, really good. Okay. Next up here, we have some Good Day cookies. We get a kick out of this one. As soon as we said it, or as soon as we saw these next ones, we had to say it about 12 times in a specific voice, because they're called Good Day cookies. We said good day. I said good day.
I said good days.
Good day to you, sir. Good day to you, ma'am.
Sure.
You're going to be trying a couple of these. So they have butter cookies, and they actually have pistachio almond cookies here as well. I am down to try the pistachio.
And these are the 50-50, right?
Is that the 50-50 one?
Oh,
no,
I guess I should read the description.
Oh, no, I think that's
that's
the 50-50.
Okay.
Good Day butter cookies by Britannia. Monaco biscuit by Parle are round, flat baked, and lightly salted biscuits. These biscuits are thin and crispy in texture. Each biscuit is baked to perfection and coated with just the right amount of salt flavoring.
Okay, so they do have the salt thing.
Nice. I'll try the butter one. I feel like Dusty's going to be all about the pistachio one.
I washed
He's
my hands.
a big pistachio guy. Well,
Yes, I am a big pistachio guy.
Dusty's a big pistachio guy.
I'm on it.
Oh, that's really good.
I was like, are they the ooey gooey?
That's a really good butter cookie.
I actually don't think that was the right description. Everything else, the title is right. This one, it's not the right description.
Well, very good butter cookie. Recommend for sure.
We said good day.
I'm just going to snack on my coconut cookie.
Good day to good day. Those were really good.
Very good.
Okay, next up we have... Oh, these are the hide and seeks, aren't they? Hide and seek Choco Roll by Parle. Or Parlay. Hide and seek Choco Roll by Parlay are chocolate cookie rolls exquisitely baked using the finest ingredients. Add to that a tempting chocolate filling, and you have a snack to entice your taste buds like no other.
Ooh. Sounds fancy.
Yeah. You're down with Choco Roll, right? Tony Spark, you down with Choco Roll?
Sure.
Take a bite of the one that's propping up our package here. It's got like the appearance of a Fig Newton.
Oh my gosh, guys, it's like creamy chocolate on the inside.
Oh, snap.
That's really good. Like, you see the chocolate on the outside and you think it's going to be like a harder, and you bite into it and it's literally
Gooey
like
chocolate?
gooey chocolate on the inside of it.
Dang.
That is so good.
It reminds me of the little like pirouette cookies. The stick cookie, like the long ones. Yeah.
We should just do this whole thing with our mouth and try to talk through it.
I'm sure there's some kind of like ASMR for that.
This is really
Really good.
I would buy these 100%.
It's like literally like chocolate frosting on the inside of it.
But that
very
crunchy
good.
outing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Those are 10 out of 10. Those
10
are
out of 10.
so good. What are they called again?
Those are hide and seek Choco Rolls.
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
So good.
Oh, so
tasty. Okay, up next we have the Happy Choco Chip by Parlay. The Happy Choco Chip by Parlay has the delicious combination of a gourmet-style crunchy cookie and a melt-in-your-mouth chocolate chip cookie. That's this one.
How about you guys?
I feel like we need some milk with these. I feel like this is I think the last one had like
you can see the chocolate chips.
This is very like cookie and biscuit like centric. And so I feel like milk would be really good with all of these.
But not warm milk. It has, I think, cold milk.
Yeah. I'm not a warm milk guy though. Give me some cold milk and dip some Oreos in it. Oh, that's it.
This is really good. Very basic. Reminds me of a chocolate Teddy Graham.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
That's weird.
Very
Actually,
good.
Couldn't taste that one. Like a really.
Candy Thunder's COVID taste buds are still all jacked up and
So
crosswired.
I don't think it had enough because you said it was really light.
It is very light.
And
It's
so
very
I couldn't-
subtle. There are some things that just don't register.
That one would be
for
really
taste buds.
good dipped in some milk though, too.
I tried. So I tried to like push it sometimes at the back of my tongue.
Okay, up next we have the 50-50 biscuits by
I'm
Britannia.
excited about
They're
this one.
biscuits that have the quality of being both sweet and salty at the same time. Launched in 1993, the dual flavor of 50-50 biscuits made it a big hit in India, and it soon became one of the country's favorite treats. Wow, it's only been around since 93.
Wow.
Let's try this sweet and salty
And they
biscuit
said what?
here.
That this is like the top selling one?
Yes.
I only got 2 out accidentally.
The Fitty Fitty biscuit. Here,
I'll
you
get
said you were
it.
excited.
You guys could split one 50-50.
Okay.
Okay. It's got like, you got to wait for the taste to like, it starts out one flavor taste, and I feel like the other taste comes in at the end of it.
Mine was like saltine.
Yep.
And then finished with like the little Danish butter cookie.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
So if they had like Danish butter cookie flavored Ritz crackers.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it. That was very
Yeah.
good.
Obviously, the translations that we have for these here only work for like people in the U.S. because those are all the things that we're referencing that it reminds us of. But I think that's a good barometer of what it would taste like. So makes sense to me at least.
Right.
Very tasty.
Okay, and the last one that we're going to sample here, because it's a bag of Lay's potato chips, we're like, hey, we have Lay's here. What is this wild flavor? This is Magic Masala by Lay's. These are one of the most popular potato chips in India, made with cumin, coriander, chili powder, onion, and garlic. Taste the unbeatable blend of delectable Indian spices with the best quality potatoes.
I was wondering if they have to follow like different guidelines in different countries, like even the same brands that we would have here. So I was trying to look at the ingredients.
The back label is quite a bit different. Okay, so I'm going to try one. Taking one of the darker colored chips too, because it has more seasoning on it to really get a good sample.
Yeah.
Get a good idea of it here.
Good crunch.
It's like some good ASMR stuff.
Is it spicy?
I
like
it builds.
Yeah, so a lot of spices.
Words are hard.
A lot of spices will hit on like the back of your tongue. This one hits square in the middle, which is different. And also it registers quickly. Like the spice registers on the center of your tongue quickly. But after you swallow and it's just the seasoning that's sitting there still, it does continue to grow. So it hits this plateau of a level of spicy that I would say is about like if you go to an Indian restaurant, or where is it? That's Thai cuisine I'm thinking of, like Kinnery Thai cuisine. When you get a curry level, this is like a curry number 2. So it's not overly spicy. It just has like a subtle burn on your tongue that sticks there. It is very flavorful. It has a ton of flavor to it.
I was worried that if I ate it, like I get flavors like stick with me. Yeah. So I was worried that it would be one of those. When you said chili powder, that's one of those flavors.
It's definitely not subtle. Like a lot of these, a lot of the other snacks have very subtle flavors to them. Now it says on the back of the package, bursting with flavor. I think that's absolutely accurate there. So those are the ones that we're sampling out here. This was really, really cool. I'd say this being our second box, but the first one that you're seeing is confirmation for us that it's not just the one box we got the first time that was full of all good stuff. This is all good stuff too. So if you're looking to broaden your horizons and try some different things and learn about different countries, just the stuff that they send with you here, they include some India facts in here. Like, did you know that India holds the title of the world's second largest population at 1.28 billion, following right behind China at 1.4 billion?
I did not know that.
Hindi is the most widely spoken language in India. India has 14 other official languages and more than 1,000 spoken languages.
Holy cow.
So I see this, like we might actually subscribe to this because I feel like the kids would really enjoy getting to experience something from other countries.
Right.
So
we're not quite yet to the point where we can just go hop on the private jet and explore India. So we'll do it vicariously through snacks. And yeah, they include some really good learning materials here too, even a signature dish recipe. So very, very cool. If you have an interest in international stuff, then this is well worth trying at TryTreats.com/subscribe with the code Dusty Thunder.
And I think they have options on there too to give it as a gift. So it'd make a great gift for people.
Yeah, that's really
cool. I mean, how cool would that be to send a gift to somebody, and whether it's a teenager or grandparents or parents or whoever you want to get snacks from all over the world? I think it'd be a really cool gift option too. So
absolutely. Thank you again to the TryTreats crew for sending us a replacement box. I'm about 95% sure that this video isn't going to be screwed up. I think we're in good shape, but thank you guys so much for sending that to us again. And you who are watching this, it's legit. It's a thing.
Very tasty.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, it is worth checking out.
We're 2 for 2 on good tasting snacks from our countries.
I'm very impressed. And I think it's interesting to try stuff that they enjoy in a different part of the world.
Yeah.
So I know America is kind of dogged for our snacks and the way
our high fructose corn syrup. What do you mean?
The way we do things here. So I think it's interesting to try different things.
Yeah,
and experience that.
It's interesting to be able to relate it to different snacks that people in the U.S. would recognize too. It's very cool. All right, I'm going to take pretty much all of this.
We're allowed to have the potato chips, and that's it.
Those hide and seeks
those were very good.
Very good.
Yep.
Yeah. Those are, and there were, 3 things. There's a couple down in front of the box that we had open to try out.
There's more we didn't even get to. So
there's a lot here.
They pack a lot in there.
Yeah.
If you're a grazer, I mean, this would probably be a solid week's worth of of snack grazing. So
what a cool conversation thing too for the kids if you send them with a snack from another country in their lunchbox and send it to school and think about that. Like that'd be really cool too.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah. So
for your favorite teacher, what a good gift for the classroom too. You could give a gift to the teacher and they could open it up and they could send it to them. Yeah. So that's actually a really good idea.
That is a great idea.
When some kid is like, "What do you got there?" and you're like, "Good day."
I said,
and they're like, "Yeah, no, but what is it?" I said, "Good day."
I said, "Good day."
There we go. We finally got it in the right way. All right. Yep. Round of applause for TryTreats. Thank you guys so much for sending that to us. And check it out. TryTreats.com/subscribe. Code Dusty Thunder.
I 100% love the teacher idea.
Wouldn't that be great?
Because we were thinking about something that we could do for like Navy's teachers and for like preschool.
Her last day of
snacks,
school is
like how I think that'd be really cool to like promote it to like teachers and be like, hey.
Yeah, and I'm sure you can define like
there's an
allergies
idea for you, TryTreats.
Like if there's like you have allergies to stuff, I'm sure you could enter that information and they would make sure that doesn't get sent in your box. So very cool.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Sweet. So we just got back from our Indian TryTreats,
which was delicious.
It was delicious.
So good.
And then as soon as we got done with that, walked out into the office and had Chinese food waiting on us. So we have a few more stories to get through, and we probably better book it before there's an international incident in my stomach.
Bada bing.
I've had that one ready since I walked in the door, man.
Before there's an international incident. Although we did just learn that those are the top 2 most populated countries, although I think we probably pretty much knew that already, but
yeah.
Interesting. Food was super good.
I feel international tensions rising.
Okay.
Already.
All right.
I better get moving.
I got some Pepto in the car if you need a little Pepto.
We might. Okay, our next story here is titled, "I Stalked My Husband 2 years before I met him."
Candy said this is a doozy.
And it's from Best of Redditor Updates.
Ooh.
All right. Let's see if it lives up to the hype. You better be bussing.
Okay. We just said that we're too old to be using that term. And this is not tasty food, so it doesn't apply to that.
I said we were bussing yesterday because we were actually leading a bus tour of area medical students around town.
This is why Gen Z is like, ugh.
Thanks for
eye roll. Insert Gen Z eye roll here.
I'm sorry, but also I'm not sorry. All right. This is, let's dive into the body of this message. I, 24 female, married my husband, 28 male, about 1.5 years ago. The first time I saw my husband, I was a freshman in high school. He was a freshman in college. He was walking his dog at the park when he stopped to talk to my brother, 27 male, because they happened to go to high school together. That was the moment I became hooked. The same day I found his Instagram, his family's social media, and also where he lived since my brother offered to walk him home while I tagged along. When I got home that day, I knew I wanted him. But of course I was only 14 while he was 18, so I came up with a plan. I found out his younger brother was only 1 year younger than me and would be attending my current high school. I figured that I had to befriend his younger brother by any means possible next year when he moves up as a freshman while I become a sophomore, and I did. It took around halfway of my junior year where we became best friends and he invited me over regularly to his house to hang out. This is where I was able to befriend my current husband's mom, and God did she love to talk about him. From her, I found out what college he goes to, his past girlfriends, what his elementary/middle school was, his favorite/least favorite foods, his pet peeves, what he likes, etc., etc. Eventually, when my visits started getting more and more frequent, I formally met current husband again. Current husband, I'll call him E, would come over every other week and stay for either Friday through Sunday or Saturday to Sunday. On those days, I specifically would wear my cutest outfits to impress him and also joke around with him a lot. Eventually, I befriended him as well. A little background on E, he is the school record holder for a certain sport at my school, which I just so happened to do. And around halfway through my senior year, E came back during the season to help coach the current high school athletes, which included me, in order to get some more volunteer work hours in. And I got to spend a lot more time with him. I loved every second of it. We were friends before, but then we became much closer since I got to spend lots of extra time with him after school, where sometimes he would even drive me home since we lived relatively close. Fast forward to when I had to move away to New York City for college, E moved with me since he coincidentally got a job near my college. Edit, I lied. It wasn't a coincidence. I found out he got a job offer and applied to a college nearby his workplace. Being each other's only friends in a new state, we became incredibly close. We started dating when I was almost a sophomore year of college. He proposed to me after I graduated, and we just got married almost a year ago. He knows absolutely nothing about how I truly know him and believes it is fate that brought us together through his younger brother. Lately, I have been debating on whether or not I should tell him, or at least his younger brother, the truth, since the only reason I befriended him was to get closer to E. I feel guilty every time he tells others our love story, because the truth is, I've known him for 10 years, while he's only known me for about 7. Update, I read a reply saying that the best thing for myself is to keep it a secret, which is what a lot of people are saying, but the best thing for him is to tell him, and I figured that person really is right. I will be telling him this Tuesday on his day off. He deserves to know who he married. Well, thank goodness you're doing it after the wedding.
Yeah, let's wait till after the wedding to break this news.
Update, July 6th, 2023, and this was originally posted, we don't know when. Okay. So, update. I told him this on the 4th of July. After the fireworks mostly ended and we were headed back, I asked him in the car, wouldn't it be weird if we had met each other before the first time we had actually met, but we just didn't think of each other as significant at the time? He smiled and turned to me saying, "Pfft, that's impossible. There's no universe where we would have met and I would not think of you as significant." That statement struck me in the heart because I knew I would soon prove that sentence very wrong. But I continued on with my plan anyway. What if I told you we have met each other before? Before that time, I was introduced as E's little brother's friend. He looked at me like I was crazy, so that's when I pulled over on the side of the road, pulled out my phone to show him the post I put up here. That explained everything. He took about 8 minutes to read the whole thing, and when he finished, he put the phone down and stared straight ahead, almost like he was dumbfounded, scared, and confused all at the same time. I started throwing out every excuse and apology I could muster at the moment for about 15 minutes straight when he decided to tell me to stop, and I did. Then he just sat there and sobbed uncontrollably for about 10 minutes before he finally asked me how much of our relationship and how much of my identity was fabricated according to his liking. I told him the honest truth. None of my personality or identity was fabricated for him, except for the fact of how we met. The only thing I ever changed about myself to make him like me more was lying about liking Chinese food. I hate Chinese food. But other than that, everything else was real. Although my friendship with his brother was built upon ill intentions, my friendship between his brother and I are now one of the most genuine friendships I have. He just cried and told me he does not want a divorce at all. But he does want us to have some time apart so that he could absorb the truth that I gave him.
International incident brewing.
One of those two countries
It's fired a warning
just
shot.
fired a shot. I don't know which one it was, but this might be the beginning of a war. He also said that he expects me to tell his brother and mom this Friday because they deserve to know the truth just as much as he did. I told him okay, and we drove the rest of the ride home in silence. When we got home, he hugged me and I cried for about 5 minutes before he got out of the car, packed his stuff, and said that he will be staying at a nearby hotel for now. He said that he knows that he still loves me, but does not yet know how to react to the fact that the beginning of our relationship was very, very orchestrated. To sum it all up, I guess telling him was a success? ? I honestly don't know. He sent me a good night and I love you text last night while he was at the hotel, so I guess he's not as mad as he may be betrayed. Update 2. Woke up this morning to find out that hubby not only lied about going to a hotel to stay at, but also lied about not wanting a divorce through a text message. He went to his family's home, not a fucking hotel, told them the entire story himself, probably exaggerated it too to make me seem crazy. His whole family wants nothing to do with me, claiming I'm psycho. He said that he lied. He said he lied about going to a hotel because he knew if he told me the whole truth, I would try to stop him, ? Honestly, I feel so betrayed. I tried to be a good wife by showing him the true me, and this is what he does? I did all this work just for it to end up like this? Honestly, I kind of deserved it. I didn't even tell him in the first place because I felt bad. I told him because I had a suspicion that he was catching on to the fact that I knew him for 2.5 years before he knew me, largely because I found out he was keeping my old phone in his work desk. my old phone that has screenshots of a lot of his old Instagram posts, plans in my notes apps about him, etc. So I guess he never truly loved me if he can't ever get past an honest confession like this one. That's the end?
Wow. Wow.
You ever seen the movie Hitch?
Yeah.
So it's a whole like...
Love that movie, actually.
The whole point of the service that he provides is getting people together like this, like making some kind of plan. Normally not like a multi-year wait in silence kind of plan.
Yeah.
But a similar kind of start to it, but that all ends up falling apart, right?
There's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wowza.
I like how in the end of that though, she's like, oh, well, I told him the truth. I don't see what the problem is. What you don't see what the problem is the beginning. Your entire relationship is built on a foundation made of sand. Like,
try to be a good wife and do the right thing.
I tried to be a good wife and do the right thing after I lied to him for all these years. Like, bro.
I like the, I did all this work for nothing.
I did all of this work for nothing. Like, okay. It's not like a school project. No. Right? Like wow. Poor guy. But I don't know. I mean, that's a lot to digest. That's a really long story. And also I find it weird, a little bit weird that like she was friends with the brother, but then he never knew her, like never saw her around the house and like never actually met her until.
Well, he was at college.
Kind of weird, though.
He was off at college.
That's true.
At that time. So she did eventually see him more, but it's because he was off at college. The fact that she befriended his younger brother just for this purpose is absolute garbage.
Yeah, that sucks that really sucks for the brother, because
they ended up becoming friends though.
They did, but now he's lost a best friend.
Right.
But now his best friend that he has, that relationship. So it's not just a marriage that was built on a lie. It was a friendship and a best friend that was built on a lie. And so now the little brother that she was friends with has to look back over all these years and be like, all of that was just not, she didn't even give a shit about me. She just cared about my brother. And she did it all just to get to my brother.
So let's play devil's advocate here for a moment, because I know, a lot of people, whenever they meet someone that they're interested in, will have some kind of plan or orchestration to court them, right? It may just be mental notes or ideas, but the level of dedication and long-term planning and patience that went into this is
like CIA level planning here. Like she infiltrated the family. She got all of his favorite likes and dislikes by befriending the mother, getting all the inside information there. So yeah, it would be. And the poor husband is like, he just thinks, wow, I met this amazing girl. And like, look at all the stuff we have in common. And but everything that she told him, you don't know what's genuine and what's not, because everything she did was tailored to make sure that he liked it. And she knew exactly what he liked, exactly what he didn't like.
But I guess here's the devil's advocate part for me. That's who she is. Like
crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, if she shows this level of obsession in other things in her life, and if this is who she is, then he got to know who she truly was.
Yeah.
Unless she's legitimately fabricating every single thing about her and just putting up a front. If that's the case, then yes, this is crazy.
And she says that she didn't change or lie about any parts of her personality for him. But at the same time, I feel like you're not really showing your true personality, because in the back of your mind, you may say that I'm not changing who I am because I want him to like it, but you know exactly what he likes. So in an argument that you're getting in, or a conversation that you have, what to say to him to steer it in that right direction or towards what he wants to hear. Like she knows.
Most married couples can say that though.
This is like, she had a phone with notes and like all of that. Like that's a lot.
That's the part of this we're in, and that's the point I'm making is that a lot of people will have at least some kind of ideas or plans about courting someone, but But the fact that this started so long ago and had so much dedication, it's concerning, right? It's it's like, this is
it's an obsession.
This behavior is not healthy.
No.
But there might be a future for you in the CIA, like Tony Spark mentioned.
And I like how she gets mad at him for lying about where he's going, because you got to understand, like, his whole world just turned upside down, and you're mad at him for going to his family, like for going to his support system, who they're about to have the rug pulled out from under them too, because here you've got a mom who loves this girl. You've got a brother who this is his best friend. Like, all of it, like, he needed to be around that, and you're mad at him for that. It's like, yeah. And she did say that she kind of deserves this, and she set herself up for this. Like, and I feel like maybe I would like to say that maybe she didn't plan on taking it going down that far, but she had to plan out the whole time. But it could be one of those, like, you get so far down the rabbit hole, and you're committed, and you just got to keep going.
I think that the turn back point is the wedding, though. Like, that was the point where if she was going to have this tremendous guilt where she felt like she needed to come clean about this in her foreseeable lifetime, doing it before you get married, like, when is you get the engaged, time to do it. Yeah.
Like, hey, listen, we need to talk about something.
Letting the wedding happen that was the decision to keep this to herself for the rest of her life. And choosing to unleash this after the fact made it worse.
But you can tell that she obviously had to be feeling some guilt.
Oh, yeah.
She had to be feeling some guilt, because it got to the point where she's like, I need to tell him.
Well, remember, she only felt that way because he had the phone and she thought he was catching on. So it wasn't guilt, it was fear
of getting caught.
Yes. Which makes it much worse. The more we talk about it, the bigger asshole she is. The end of this is what seals the deal for me, where she's like, so I guess he never truly loved me if he can't even get past an honest confession like this one. Listen, lady, that statement could be applied to the worst crimes in the world.
Yeah.
I guess he never truly loved me if he can't get past an honest confession like this one. You made everything about your honest confession, not what you were confessing.
I murdered his entire family, but if he can't get past that, I guess he just never loved me.
That's right. My real name's not Janet. I'm actually a Russian sleeper agent. And
dude, that was crazy. I feel bad for that whole family, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it's, like I said, it's not just him that this is affected. It's the entire family.
Yeah.
I really feel bad for the little brother, because he was used in this entire thing.
He was used in the beginning, though. And that's where it gets weird and gets more complicated, is that the beginning of all of these things was malicious.
Yeah.
And not malicious in the intent to do harm part, but it was obsessive. It was orchestrated. The beginning was the bad part. What I don't understand is that when she got to this point where she was afraid that she was being found out, which is the only reason that she brought it up.
Yep.
Trying to put myself in her position here, which obviously would never do anything like this. But if I were in that position, you have to evaluate which path is going to create more harm. Is it to ride this out and just see what happens? And if it does get brought up, explain everything then, or drop this bombshell randomly and detonate your entire relationship, the family's trust in you, and just shatter their entire world. Why would you drop this bomb?
Yeah.
That's going to create more damage.
100%. Yeah. Rough. That's wild. That could be a movie.
That could be a movie. Are we saying ASCON 1 here?
Yeah. That's ASCON 1.
ASCON 1.
That's ASCON 1.
For
all the way.
A myriad of reasons.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not just for one reason. It's for probably like 5.
Yeah.
Like, there's she had so many opportunities during all of this to come clean. And the longer it goes on, the worse it becomes. Yes. The earlier on you come clean, Okay, like let's say not even that. Like when you moved and you're in college and you become friends in college, like maybe that's time.
So many opportunities.
You could have done it then. When you when you actually start dating, then when you get engaged, then like before there's so many opportunities for you to have come clean in this and you didn't, and it just builds and builds and builds and builds and makes it worse.
Yeah, this definitely wasn't one decision. This was 1 billion decisions that were all made wrong.
Yeah.
Oof.
Rough.
All right, let's bounce on to the next crazy story. Oh, what? Just when we think it can't get any crazier.
Oh,
Title of our next story is, Am I Wrong for Not Giving My Sister My Baby? I am aware how insane this title is, but hear me out. The story is about me, female 28, my husband Lucas, 39, and my younger half-sister, dad's side, Leah, 24. My husband and I met through work 5 years ago, but didn't date right away. We tied the knot by eloping 2 years ago, as I predicted Leah would cause wedding drama. Leah herself had a failed engagement 1 year ago. We gave her our condolences, but she said if I really cared, I would stop wearing my engagement ring around her, flaunting it.
Okay.
I obviously did not take it off. It's a vintage ring that is an heirloom in Luca's family. I'm now 5 months pregnant with a baby girl. She wasn't planned, but she's a very welcome surprise. Lucas is so excited to be a girl dad. It's very funny. Ever since I announced my pregnancy, it wasn't a fancy thing, just over dinner. Leah has been very snippy and standoffish with me. Fine, it didn't really affect me. We're not close. But then I noticed when we'd go to visit my dad or at family gatherings, she's very touchy with Lucas. She giggles at every joke he makes. Doesn't really bother me. I'm secure in my marriage, and if anything, it makes her look silly.
Red flags.
We had a blended family event with both mom and dad's side, and we were discussing baby names when Leah freaked out, screeching at me that she's the one who deserves a husband and a baby, not me. I never wanted marriage or kids. I was focused on getting a career, and stormed off. Later on, Dad and his wife said she shouldn't have shouted, but I was flaunting my marriage and pregnancy when I knew she had a failed engagement and had always wanted a baby. I thought that was it. But yesterday, the three of them asked to talk, and they came over to ours, and they legitimately asked if I would give Leah my baby.
What?
Like they weren't joking. They said it seriously. They said she deserved it more than me, as she wouldn't neglect being a mother for a career. Lucas was stunned, but then promptly got them out of our house. I heard Leah clinging to his arm, telling him she could be a good stay-at-home mom.
God.
My mom and her side of the family are furious. Leah's mom said it was malicious of me to tell my mom's family, and that I had really upset Leah when we eloped, so I had to make it up to her, and that my mom doesn't get a say. What the actual
I agree.
Edit, just to address some things. Yes, unfortunately, this is real and it happens often. Look up the case of Taylor Parker. We may have to look that up in a moment. This whole thing has been really stressful. I'm immune compromised, so I'm really feeling run down and have to be careful. Lastly, Lucas is actually Swedish, so that is an option to those of you who have suggested moving. Interesting. The case of Taylor Parker. Hold on.
What in the f***ing crazy is this?
You know what? The shitty part about this is that this is not the first story like this we've heard. This is
f***ing crazy.
It is insane. This is probably not the fifth story like this we've heard where people actually make the ask to receive the baby from other people because they feel like they deserve it more.
What world of entitlement do you live in that you think somebody else should give you their baby because you don't have one? If you want to have a baby, go have a baby. Like I know it's not that simple.
Adopt.
But adopt a baby.
Yes.
Listen, go have a one-night stand or something and get knocked up if you want a f***ing baby. Like, what are you doing? You're like, I really just think that I should take your husband and have your baby because I would be a better stay-at-home mom than you and you want to work and that's not okay with me. Like, f*** you.
But I don't want to do any of the work of carrying the baby. I want the baby when it arrives.
Like, listen, you're already having one, so just give me that one.
The Taylor Parker story is not a good one. Look it up if you want to, but it's somebody took a baby from a pregnant lady.
What?
Took it from her. So
holy crazy! Oh my! I think this and the last lady should be good roommates somewhere or something because those two
at the asylum.
Those two could scheme up some plans. This is wild.
Yeah, this is obviously unhealthy. And so there's obviously something wrong with Leah. Leah has some problems.
Yeah.
Leah needs to work through these problems. Leah needs help. Like, Leah needs to be admitted.
So do the rest of the family who is asking this.
Yes. Well, so you've got Leah's mom, and Leah's mom is, it sounds like, well, probably the biggest problem in all of this, because instead of recognizing that Leah needs help and needs to be admitted and needs to, like, the fact that this shit is an actual conversation means that she's ignoring all of that and just trying to pacify her. She's willing to do whatever it takes for Leah, whether that's immoral, illegal, doesn't matter. She's willing to do whatever it takes. So she's an enabler.
And it sounds like from based on this is that's the way it's been her entire life. Yes. And they've given her whatever she wants, whenever she wants. And it's the mentality from them of like, it's just easier. Just give her what she wants.
Exactly.
No.
To the point, up to and including a baby.
Yeah. And then just like, what, you don't just want the baby. You're trying to take her husband.
Well, they're only asking for the baby right now.
Yeah, but she's loving up on the husband, just being like, I'd be a better wife.
The husband is the second ask.
No.
They're just asking for one thing at a time. They're negotiating in pieces.
Oh my God.
So this is comfortably ASCON 1 as well.
Oh, this is ASCON. I don't even know. There's a lot of ASCON 1s in this. The family's ASCON 1, Leah's ASCON. There's a lot of ASCON 1s going on here. If I was them, I would run.
Agreed.
Run.
Well, now you have to think about the safety of your child.
So it's her sister, right?
Her half sister.
Younger half sister.
Yes.
Yeah. On your dad's side, you don't need to talk to that family anymore. You're done. No contact. Run the fuck away. Change your phone number. Move somewhere. You don't even have to necessarily move to Sweden. I mean, if that's what you want to do, sure. Cool. But move somewhere away from them. Change phone numbers. Change addresses. Get as far away from these crazy people as you can get.
Absolutely.
This is insane.
The fact that they're enabling it means that they're willing to fund it. And if they're willing to fund it, then they're willing to go to some lengths. So more distance, like self-induced witness protection is what needs to happen. Seriously,
because that is, these people, all three of them, Leah is clearly unstable. And the parents either just can't accept that, or have and gotten to the point where it's just like, it's just easier to just let her be crazy.
This has to be an instability thing, though. This surely someone isn't just this spoiled and
entitled.
Yeah, surely it can't just be that, right? To get to this point where someone can make this ask, there has to be something unhinged.
Yeah.
There has to be. Surely someone can't just be that shitty intentionally.
No, something is, yeah. And if you are, you have to have had everything handed to you on a silver platter your entire life to just feel so entitled that you think you can ask for anything and feel like you deserve anything you ask for, and that, well, why aren't you giving it to me? I want a baby. I want you to give me that baby.
That's the line, though, where this goes from like unhinged to evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, it's evil. I don't know. This is crazy. She had a failed engagement a year ago. Well,
no one else can wear an engagement ring.
Yeah, you can't wear an engagement ring around her. You can't talk flaunting her pregnancy. What, for just walking in the room and being pregnant is flaunting the pregnancy? Come on. You? No, these people.
Are you wearing maternity clothes? How dare you?
Yeah. OP, run. Far away. Get away, as far away from these people as you could possibly get. Because here's the problem. At what point, how far are they willing to go? Right. That's the scary part of this.
That's what I meant by they're willing to fund it.
Yeah. That's the scary part of this is, worst case scenario, you don't know because it sounds like if she's unhinged and has this level of evil in her, like, you don't know what's going to happen. You are probably not safe, and neither is your husband, and neither is your future baby. Like, this is not a good situation, and you need to fucking run.
I would, as a parting farewell message to your dad, who is Leah's dad, who's letting this shit happen, there has to be some kind of wake up call to him here, because he's no longer thinking about both of his daughters.
No.
He's only thinking about Leah. And it may be Leah's mom that has brainwashed him into doing that, but you need to snap in his face and say, I am your daughter as well.
And you've now lost me because I'm gone.
You've also lost your granddaughter.
Yep.
Because of this shit. Wake the f up.
This one's crazy. There's a whole lot of crazy in this one. These last two stories, there's a whole lot of crazy in, and that
Candy Thunder just stumbled upon these.
I'm telling you what. Oh, just run.
You ready for another? You ready for another crazy story?
That was. Oof.
All right, let's dive into it.
Also, could be a movie. I feel like.
Yeah.
You know, with the writer strike and actor strike going on, Candy Thunder's just whipping out movies.
We got
like finding
tons
movies
of
over
content here. Yeah, we'll just have AI help us kind of rewrite for screenplay. All right, this is our very last story of this podcast. This one is, what is it from? It is an AITA story, and it is Am I the Astronaut for telling my mother-in-law the exact reason why I divorced her son.
Ooh, mother-in-law.
Here we go. Mother-in-law alert. So I, 29 female, was married for 1 year with my ex-husband, 31 male. We met at a party of one mutual friend 3 years ago, and I was instantly interested in him. I don't know if you guys can hear this on camera, but there's an international incident brewing in my belly. It is right now like...
the troops are advancing to the front lines.
Yes,
the troops are advancing. The
all of my Indian cracker snacks.
The Navy brigades are in motion. There's a lot going on. The seas are rough, and battle is imminent.
There will be stories about this in the history books.
The international incident, the Dusty Thunder incident.
All right, sorry. I'll try to keep it together here.
Okay.
My sister, 22 female, already knew him, and they had a fling before we met. I never had a big problem with this. They always acted just friendly around me, but now I see that I was being too innocent. My mother-in-law loves me and my sister with all of her heart. She always said that we were the daughters she never had, and we always did a lot of activities together. On the other hand, my mom never liked my ex. She held a grudge against him because my sister had just started college when they hooked up, and the age difference was too big for her. But she was always cordial with him. Well, I asked for a divorce a few months ago when I found out that my sister and him were seeing each other behind my back. Boy, I didn't see this coming.
Wait a minute. The sister and who? The sister and her husband?
The sister and her husband, because they had a fling a long time ago. But it was this line. My mother-in-law loves me and my sister with all of my heart. She always said we were the daughters she never had, and we always did a lot of activities together. Why would your sister be hanging out with your mother-in-law? My mom told me when she saw them kissing when we drove her home after a party. To say that I was sad is an understatement. I was heartbroken. I couldn't look at his face or my sister's. I didn't say anything to my mother-in-law about why we separated because I thought that this was his responsibility. But I've been receiving tons of calls from her asking if I'm okay and saying that she misses me. I was not planning on saying anything, but she went as far as to ask my mom about what happened. My mom told me that if I didn't say anything to mother-in-law, she would. So I visited her and dropped the bomb. I've been receiving a lot of messages from my ex's brothers, mutual friends, and some of my ex's relatives saying that I shouldn't have done that, and now my mother-in-law hates my sister and has been crying frequently. As much as I feel bad for her, I can't say that I didn't feel like I dropped a heavy weight and I could finally breathe. I don't think I did anything wrong, but I wanted to know some outside opinions. I say this a lot. How the F do you expect people to react when they get exposed?
Seriously, and why would she feel bad? Like they cheated. Like what? Why would you feel bad about that? Well, it's just going to be hush hush secret and nobody's going to find out. It's like you shouldn't be feeling bad for exposing what actually happened because at some point that was going to happen.
Right.
And if they have the balls to cheat, but they don't have the balls to come clean about doing it. So you know what?
Here's how narcissism works. Here's how gaslighting works too. It's not the bad thing. The act of doing the bad thing, that's the bad thing. It is the exposing of the bad thing that is the bad thing. It's not doing the bad thing, it's exposing the bad thing.
And I like how they're upset about telling him about it, but you're not upset that it fucking happened. What?
Apparently, OP and mother-in-law were the only two that didn't know what was going on here because everybody else.
It's like, why would you even say it?
Yeah, why would you out them?
Because he cheated on me with my sister. Bro.
Everybody else knew except for mother-in-law and OP, which sucks super bad. And I feel like OP, maybe you need to have some follow-up talks with mother-in-law here because
it sounds like mother-in-law would have her back in this situation.
Agreed, but mother-in-law also needs to know that you're now catching all this heat from all of these
her sons,
all of these dick knots, because that's now a term that we made up earlier in this podcast.
Facts.
And what they're saying, I would communicate that to them too, to her as well, because she needs to know what's going on, and she can probably get them off your back.
And shame on his brothers and friends and relatives and all of those people for making her feel like that. She just lost her husband and her sister. Because if you think she's going to have a relationship with her sister after this, no. And she lost her husband and she lost her sister. She lost her mother. And, she may not have lost her mother-in-law, but in the time,
as a mother-in-law,
during this time as a mother-in-law, you've lost her. And it's going to take some time because mother-in-law is walking that line of like, what do I do? That's my son.
Right.
And that's my daughter-in-law who I love and care about. And I care about. Poor mother-in-law is in a hell of a situation in this deal, but shame on you for making her feel like this. Like, what? She didn't do anything wrong. You're making her feel like she did something wrong when no, he didn't do anything wrong. He did something wrong and her sister did something wrong. That is gaslighting at its fucking finest right there.
Again, and remember that. And you who are hearing this, remember this. The next time somebody tries to make you feel like shit for exposing the stupid thing they did, it is not the exposing it that is the bad thing. It is the doing of the bad thing.
Exactly.
But they will try like hell to make you believe that it's the exposing of it that is the bad thing. Yeah. It is not.
It is not. All you did was they did it. You didn't do it. You didn't make them do it. You just told people that they did it. And there's nothing wrong with that. If they didn't want people to know about it, then they shouldn't have done it in the first place.
Well, and beyond that, you even gave your cheating ex time
to own up to it and confess to it.
And he just didn't do it because he's obviously a chicken shit coward, which because he did that shit with your sister in the first place.
With your sister.
Shocker. Big shocking news here, folks. But it's you did everything right here. 100% not the asshole. Into for you. And you need to just distance yourself from every single person at play here, except maybe mother-in-law. I feel like you two at least having some kind of relationship as a support network for each other, because you've both been affected by this. She obviously didn't get cheated on, but her world just got destroyed too.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's going to take both of them some time, but I think, based on the mother-in-law's reaction, like she's as devastated as she's devastated as well. And so I think that, I think they have that opportunity to still have a relationship going forward. It's probably going to take some time, because I think OP just needs, like you said, distance yourself from the entire situation for a while. Let them deal with that. Mother-in-law, once she gets over her crying deal, she needs to rip her son a new asshole, and the same with his brothers and friends, and say, how dare you do that?
Yep.
How dare you do that to her? Well, and then make her feel like shit and gaslight her like that. No.
Mother-in-law lost a daughter that she never had.
Yep. Two, because she's not going to have a relationship with that sister.
Well, she lost one of them, but the one that's left is a floozy.
Yep.
So she's like, what the hell? If I have to have one remaining, I know which one I want now.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if she made that choice, because she viewed her as the daughter she never had before.
Yeah.
If they maintain that relationship, and now everything else just gets fractured between mother-in-law and her son, because obviously, he's thinking with his dick knot, and that's that's all I can do.
Which is probably going to, hopefully will provide some sort of sense of comfort for OP down the road, is that they can still have that bond. And because you don't lose everything, right? Like you lose your husband and you lose your sister, but you still have that bond with that mother-in-law.
Right.
And you guys went through something together and you can build on that and grow. But no, these are a bunch of gaslighting mother effers.
Good
like,
gravy.
how dare you? How dare you expose me for cheating?
That's right.
Like, how could you do that? Why would you do that?
That's so terrible.
Like, why would you do that?
It's almost 0.01% as terrible as the thing we did to you. But it's
be like, yeah, I cheated,
worse. But worse.
You didn't have to tell my mom. Like, brozo.
There you go. You get the Brozo award right there.
There's been a lot of Brozos in this.
There have been. I think Candy Thunder thought about us two reading these and what would go well, and it worked.
She's probably like, I'm going to give these two Brozos some Brozo stories to read.
Text a Brozo or no Brozo. That is our last story, and we've come a long way here. I know we spent a lot of time up front talking about lives, and we hope that if you think you might enjoy interacting with us live and also the fun, exciting atmosphere of that, come check us out on Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Central Daylight Time right now on TikTok.
Yeah. If you've made it to the end of this video, though, on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. There's lots of cool stuff on there. The sleep stories. We've got a lot of exciting stuff in the works too, with some subscription things going on.
It is well worth it. Content,
the lives. If you're not a TikTok person, that's okay. Because we post those lives every week on YouTube, so you can watch them, and I'm telling you, they're a lot of fun. It's a good time.
You can watch those after the fact, and of course the daily posts that we have posts twice a day on YouTube right now, and have that scheduled out through like 2 weeks ahead of time. So we've got a ton of content in the bank that we are trickling out, and just trying to not throw out too much at once, trying to keep this machine rolling here.
Honestly,
but we're doing new kinds of stuff all the time.
Keep it all straight. There's a lot going on.
Hey, there's got to be a plan, right?
There's got to be a plan, and we love to deviate from the plan. Well, some of us
love it when a plan comes together and then they call audibles and it up. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. Tony Spark, episode number 2.
It's fun.
With Tony Spark here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We had a great time, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.